Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Playbook. I'm David.
And I'm Sarah. We're so excited you're joining us today for episode 25.
Episode 25. Can you believe it, Sarah? We've come a long way together with our amazing listeners.
Absolutely. And today's episode is truly special. We're diving into a topic that's not just about learning English, it's about the heart of humanity.
That's right. Today we're talking about volunteering, helping others, and giving back to our communities. This is an intermediate level lesson, so whether you're looking to improve your vocabulary, understand conversational phrases, or simply learn about this beautiful aspect of culture, you're in the right place.
And I have to say, David, this topic hits close to home for both of us. We've both been involved in volunteer work over the years.
Definitely. For me, volunteering has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. It teaches you so much, not just about others, but about yourself.
Exactly. And today's lesson centers around a soup kitchen, which is a wonderful example of community service. But before we jump in, let's talk about what makes this episode unique.
Right. We've structured this as a full 100-minute deep dive. That means we're not rushing through anything. We're going to take our time, explore every phrase, share personal stories, and really help you understand not just the words, but the culture and values behind them.
And here's what you can expect. We'll listen to our dialogue 3 times throughout the episode, each time with fresh ears and new insights. We'll break down vocabulary, explore phrases, discuss real-world applications, and even talk about the philosophy of helping others.
This isn't just a language lesson, it's a journey. So grab a cup of coffee or tea, get comfortable, and let's spend the next 100 minutes together, learning, reflecting, and growing.
Before we begin, I want to ask our listeners, have you ever volunteered? What kind of volunteer work speaks to you? Drop a comment below this video and let us know. We love hearing your stories.
Great idea. And remember, whether you're here to improve your English or to learn about volunteering or both, you're part of the English Playbook community, and we're here to support you every step of the way.
All right, let's get started with our first segment, Vocabulary Preview.
Okay, Sarah, before we dive into today's dialogue, we need to preview one essential term that's central to our story.
That's right, and that term is soup kitchen. Now, David, for our listeners who might not be familiar with this concept, can you explain what a soup kitchen is?
Absolutely. A soup kitchen is a place. It could be a community center, a church basement, or a dedicated facility where volunteers prepare and serve food to people who can't afford to feed themselves.
Exactly. So it's not a restaurant where you pay for food. It's a charitable service. The food is free, and it's specifically designed to help people who are struggling financially or experiencing homelessness.
And the name soup kitchen comes from the fact that historically, these places would often serve soup because it's inexpensive to make in large quantities, it's nutritious, and it's warm and comforting.
Though today, soup kitchens often serve full meals, not just soup. You might find sandwiches, salads, hot dishes, even desserts. The goal is to provide a proper, dignified meal to anyone who needs it.
And here's something important to understand culturally. Soup kitchens are run by volunteers. These are ordinary people like you and me who donate their time to cook, serve, clean, and interact with guests.
That's such a crucial point. It's community members helping community members. And in today's dialogue, we're going to meet some of these volunteers, including a professional chef who's donating her skills.
Now let's talk about why soup kitchens exist. Sarah, what are some of the reasons people might need to use a soup kitchen?
Well, there are many reasons. Someone might have lost their job and can't afford groceries. They might be homeless and don't have access to a kitchen. They might be working but still struggling to make ends meet, meaning their income doesn't cover all their basic needs.
Right, and it's important to remember that people who use soup kitchens come from all walks of life. It's not just one type of person. Economic hardship can happen to anyone.
Absolutely. And soup kitchens provide more than just food. They provide community, dignity, and hope. They're places where people can sit down, have a warm meal, and feel cared for.
So, when you hear the term soup kitchen in today's dialogue, remember it's a place of compassion, volunteer service, and community support. It's where people come together to help those who are less fortunate.
Perfect summary, David. Now that we understand what a soup kitchen is, we're ready to listen to our dialogue. Are you ready, everyone?
Let's do it.
All right, everyone, this is your first listen. Just relax and try to get the general idea of what's happening. Don't worry if you don't catch every word. We'll break it all down afterward.
Thanks a lot for pitching in once again, Judy. We really appreciate your help. It seems that at this time of year, there are more and more people who are struggling to make ends meet. There aren't many professional chefs like you who are so generous with their time.
Don't be silly, Mark. I'm more than happy to donate my time to a good cause. Volunteering at the soup kitchen has been really rewarding for me. You know, it's satisfying to provide good meals for those who are less fortunate. I feel like I'm really making a difference in some small way.
Well, your skills are definitely appreciated here. The people who come here have fallen on hard times, and a delicious hot meal can really bolster their spirits.
Wow, that smells great. The needy are sure lucky to have you.
Thanks, Mark. Here you go. Enjoy your meal.
Thank you, my dear. Ooh, this looks lovely. You're welcome. Hello, sir. Today we have George. What are you doing here? Hey, Judy. I'll have a little of everything, thanks. Smells great. George, seriously, what are you doing here? I haven't seen you since our divorce was finalized. You've got no right to be here. You're hardly homeless. Don't be like that, Judy. I really miss your home cooking.
Wow, did you catch that twist at the end?
Right? George showing up at the soup kitchen just to eat Judy's cooking. That's quite the awkward situation.
It adds a touch of humor to an otherwise serious topic, but we'll dig deeper into the story later. First, let's break down all that amazing vocabulary we just heard.
All right, everyone, this is where we slow down and really examine the language. We heard so many useful words and phrases in that dialogue.
Absolutely. And these aren't just words for talking about volunteering. Many of these are everyday conversational phrases that you'll hear all the time in English.
Our first phrase is to pitch in. Mark said, "Thanks a lot for pitching in once again, Judy."
This is such a common colloquial phrase. To pitch in means to help or to contribute your effort to something. It's very informal and friendly.
Exactly. You might hear someone say, "Can you pitch in with the dishes?" Or "Everyone pitched in to buy her a birthday gift."
It has this sense of teamwork, like everyone doing their part. It could be pitching in time, money, or effort.
Here's a great example. When we were moving apartments, all our friends pitched in to help carry boxes. It just means they all helped out.
Perfect. So remember, to pitch in equals to help or contribute.
Next up, generous. Mark tells Judy, "There aren't many professional chefs like you who are so generous with their time."
Generous is an adjective that describes someone who gives freely, whether it's money, time, help, or kindness. A generous person doesn't hold back. They give openly.
Right, and you can be generous with different things. You can be generous with your money, like donating to charity. You can be generous with your time, like Judy, volunteering at the soup kitchen.
You can even be generous with compliments. If someone always says nice things about others, you might say, "She's very generous with her praise."
Famous, generous people include philanthropists like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, who donate billions to charity, or Mother Teresa, who dedicated her life to serving the poor.
But you don't have to be a billionaire to be generous. Generosity is about the spirit of giving, not the amount.
Now we come to a phrase that's really important: less fortunate. Judy says, "It's satisfying to provide good meals for those who are less fortunate."
This is one of several polite ways to refer to people who are poor or struggling financially. Instead of saying poor people, which can sound harsh or disrespectful, we say the less fortunate.
The word fortunate means lucky or blessed with good fortune. So if you're fortunate, you have good luck, resources, or advantages. If you're less fortunate, you have fewer of these things.
It's a compassionate way of acknowledging that not everyone has the same opportunities or resources, often through no fault of their own. It's about circumstances, not character.
You might hear someone say, "We're collecting donations for the less fortunate this holiday season," or "She volunteers to teach children from less fortunate backgrounds."
Another word for people in difficult circumstances is needy. We heard the needy are sure lucky to have you.
Needy comes from the verb to need, so someone who needs things, food, shelter, money, support.
We often say the needy as a collective noun, meaning needy people as a group. For example, this charity serves the needy in our city.
But be careful, needy can also describe someone who constantly needs attention or emotional support. Like, he's so needy, he texts me every 5 minutes.
Good point. Context is everything. In our dialogue, the needy refers to people who need material help, not emotional neediness.
Next, homeless. Judy tells George, "You're hardly homeless."
This one is straightforward. Homeless means without a home. People who are homeless don't have a permanent place to live.
We often refer to the homeless as a group. For example, the city is opening more shelters for the homeless.
Homelessness is a serious social issue. People can become homeless for many reasons: job loss, medical emergencies, mental health struggles, or natural disasters.
And helping the homeless is one of the main purposes of soup kitchens and shelters. These services provide not just food, but also a sense of community and hope.
Let's talk about the verb to donate. Judy says, "I'm more than happy to donate my time to a good cause."
To donate means to give something freely, usually to help others or support a cause. You're not expecting anything in return.
You can donate money. I donated $50 to the animal shelter. You can donate items. We donated our old clothes to charity. Or you can donate time. She donates 4 hours every week to tutor kids.
The noun form is donation, so you make a donation or give a donation.
And when Judy says she's donating her time to a good cause, that phrase means to a worthy purpose or charitable effort.
Wow, we've covered so much already, and we're just getting started. Shall we keep going, David?
Absolutely. Let's continue with our fluency building phrases after we listen to the dialogue one more time. All right, here we go with our second listen. This time, try to notice all those vocabulary words we just discussed. See if you can hear them in context. Dialogue audio plays as before.
Did you catch more details that time? Maybe you noticed Judy's warmth and dedication, or Mark's gratitude.
And of course, George's unexpected appearance. But let's keep analyzing. We have more amazing phrases to explore.
Welcome to Fluency Builder. This is where we focus on phrases and expressions that will make you sound more natural and fluent in English.
These are the kinds of phrases native speakers use all the time in conversation. Let's dive in.
1. To make ends meet. Our first phrase is to make ends meet. Mark says there are more and more people who are struggling to make ends meet.
This is such an important phrase. To make ends meet means to have enough money to pay for your basic necessities: food, rent, bills.
Imagine your income and your expenses as two ends of a rope. If you can make those ends meet, if you can tie them together, that means you're covering your costs. You're getting by financially.
But if you're struggling to make ends meet, that means your income isn't quite enough. You're having trouble paying for everything you need.
Here's an example. After I lost my job, I had to take on freelance work just to make ends meet. That means the freelance work was necessary to cover basic expenses.
Or you might hear, with rent so expensive in this city, many families can barely make ends meet. It's about financial survival, not luxury.
This phrase is so common in everyday conversation, especially when talking about economic challenges. Definitely add it to your vocabulary. 2. To make a difference.
Next up, to make a difference. Judy says, I feel like I'm really making a difference in some small way.
This is one of my favorite phrases. To make a difference means to have a positive impact, to improve something, to matter.
When you make a difference, you're changing something for the better. It could be in someone's life, in your community, or in the world.
People often say, I want to make a difference when talking about their goals or purpose in life. It's about contributing something meaningful.
You might hear, one person can make a difference, meaning even small actions matter. Or teaching has allowed me to make a difference in children's lives.
And notice Judy says she's making a difference in some small way. That's humble. She recognizes her contribution might seem small, but it still matters.
Exactly. And that's such an important message. You don't have to change the whole world to make a difference. Every kind act counts.
Now we have a really expressive phrase, to fall on hard times. Mark says, the people who come here have fallen on hard times.
This is a compassionate way to describe people experiencing difficulties, especially financial ones. Hard times means difficult circumstances.
And the verb to fall suggests a downward movement from a better situation to a worse one. So if someone has fallen on hard times, they've experienced a setback or misfortune.
This could be losing a job, facing medical bills, going through a divorce, or any number of challenges that affects your financial stability.
Example, after the factory closed, many families in town fell on hard times. Or he was a successful businessman, but then he fell on hard times during the recession.
It's a phrase that acknowledges that life can be unpredictable. Anyone can fall on hard times through no fault of their own.
And that's why it's used with empathy. It recognizes that circumstances can change for anyone. 4. To bolster spirits.
Here's a beautiful phrase, to bolster spirits. Mark says a delicious hot meal can really bolster their spirits.
Let's break this down. Spirits here means mood or emotional state. When we talk about someone's spirits, we're talking about how they feel emotionally.
And bolster is a verb that means to support, strengthen, or boost. So, to bolster someone's spirits means to lift their mood, to make them feel better.
You might also hear lift someone's spirits or raise someone's spirits. They all mean the same thing, making someone feel happier or more hopeful.
Example, the good news really bolstered my spirits, or her encouraging words bolstered his spirits during a difficult time.
And in the dialogue, it's saying that a delicious hot meal does more than just fill stomachs, it also provides emotional comfort and hope.
That's the power of kindness and care. It nourishes the spirit as well as the body.
Now let's look at the word hardly. Judy tells George, "You're hardly homeless."
Hardly is an adverb that means almost not or barely. It's used to emphasize that something is almost not true. So when Judy says you're hardly homeless, she means you're definitely not homeless, or you're far from being homeless. She's emphasizing that you have a home.
More examples, I hardly know him means I barely know him. We're not really acquainted. Or she hardly eats anything means she eats very little.
Or I can hardly believe it, meaning it's almost unbelievable, very surprising.
It's a useful word for expressing that something is minimal or nearly absent. Just be careful not to confuse it with hard, which is completely different.
Excellent. We've covered so many powerful phrases. I hope everyone is taking notes.
These phrases will really elevate your English. Let's listen to the dialogue one more time before we move into our discussion section. Here's our final listen to the dialogue. By now, you should understand every word and phrase. Really absorb the story and the emotions behind it. Beautiful. Now that we've fully explored the language, let's shift gears and talk about the real-world applications and personal experiences. All right, David, now it's time to get personal. We both have experience with volunteering. Why don't you start? Tell us about your volunteer work.
Sure. So I've been involved in various volunteer activities over the years, but one of the most meaningful was working at a food bank in my community.
What exactly is a food bank for our listeners who might not know?
Good question. A food bank is similar to a soup kitchen, but instead of serving prepared meals, it distributes groceries and packaged food to people who need it. People can come and select items to take home.
So what did you do there?
I helped with everything, sorting donated food, stocking shelves, helping people shop, loading groceries into their cars. But honestly, the most valuable part wasn't the physical work, it was the conversations.
Tell us more about that.
Well, I learned that the people who came to the food bank were just like me. They had jobs, families, dreams, but something had happened, maybe a medical emergency, a job loss, a family crisis, and they fell on hard times.
That must have been eye-opening.
It really was. One woman I met was a former nurse who had to stop working to care for her sick mother. Another was a single dad who lost his job when his company downsized. These weren't other people. They were neighbors, community members who just needed a little help to get back on their feet.
And that's such an important perspective. It breaks down stereotypes and reminds us that anyone can need help at some point.
Exactly. And it made me grateful for what I have, while also showing me that I have the power to make a difference, even in a small way.
That's beautiful. Now I want to share my experience. I volunteered at a homeless shelter for several months, and it completely changed my understanding of homelessness.
What kind of work did you do there?
I worked the evening shift, which meant helping people check in, serving dinner, and spending time talking with residents. The shelter provided beds, meals, and basic services, but it also provided community.
Community is so important.
Absolutely. I met people with incredible stories: veterans, people with college degrees, artists, parents. Each person had a unique journey that led them to the shelter.
What was the most challenging part?
Honestly, confronting my own biases. I had unconscious assumptions about homelessness that were completely wrong. I learned that homelessness isn't a character flaw, it's a circumstance. And with the right support, many people can rebuild their lives.
That's a powerful lesson.
It was. And I also learned that volunteering isn't just about giving, it's about receiving too. I received so much: new friendships, perspective, gratitude, purpose.
I think that's what Judy meant in our dialogue when she said volunteering has been really rewarding for her. It's reciprocal.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about our listeners. Maybe some of you are thinking, I'd like to volunteer, but I don't know where to start.
Great point. So here are some ideas. You could volunteer at a soup kitchen or food bank, like we've discussed. You could help at an animal shelter if you love animals. You could tutor children or teach English to immigrants.
You could visit elderly people in nursing homes. Many seniors are lonely and would love companionship. You could join environmental cleanups, mentor young people, or volunteer at hospitals.
And remember, you don't need special skills. You just need willingness and compassion. Most organizations will train you.
And you don't need to commit to huge amounts of time. Even a few hours a month can make a real difference.
One more thing. Volunteering is also a great way to practice English if you're a language learner. You're in a natural, supportive environment where you can have real conversations.
That's such a good point. You're learning language and culture while helping others. It's a win-win.
Now, let's dive a little deeper. Why is helping others important? What does it mean for society, for communities, and for us as individuals?
These are big questions. Let's start with the individual level. When you help others, you're not just changing their life, you're changing yours too.
Right. Studies have shown that volunteering and acts of kindness actually boost your own happiness and well-being. There's even a term for it, the helper's high.
The helper's high. I love that. It's the feeling of joy and satisfaction you get from helping someone else.
Helping others also gives you perspective. It reminds you of what really matters in life. It's easy to get caught up in our own problems, but when you step outside yourself and help someone else, you realize how much you have to be grateful for.
And it builds empathy and compassion. When you interact with people from different backgrounds or circumstances, you develop a deeper understanding of the human experience.
Now, let's think about the community level. When people help each other, communities become stronger and more resilient.
Absolutely. A community where people look out for one another is a healthier, safer, more connected place to live. Volunteering creates social bonds.
And it addresses real needs. Soup kitchens, shelters, food banks, these services fill gaps that government programs might not fully cover. They provide immediate, practical help.
Plus, they restore dignity. When someone is struggling, receiving help with kindness and respect can be life-changing. It says, you matter. You're not alone.
And on a societal level, a culture of helping creates a cycle of goodness. When you help someone, they're more likely to help others. Kindness spreads.
There's a beautiful saying, be the change you wish to see in the world. If you want to live in a kinder, more compassionate world, start by being kind and compassionate yourself.
And remember, you don't have to solve every problem. You don't have to help everyone. Just do what you can where you are with what you have.
Like Judy in our dialogue, She's making a difference in some small way, and that's enough. Small acts of kindness, multiplied by millions of people, can change the world.
I want to add one more thing. Helping others isn't about being superior or saving people. It's about recognizing our shared humanity. We're all in this together.
That's so important, David. Helping should come from a place of humility and solidarity, not pity or charity as a one-way street.
Exactly. We all have something to give, and we all have times when we need help. That's what makes us human.
Well, everyone, we're approaching the end of our 100-minute journey together. What a rich, meaningful conversation this has been.
It really has. We've covered so much, from vocabulary and phrases to personal stories and philosophical reflections.
Let's do a quick recap of what we learned today. First, we explored the concept of soup kitchens and how they serve communities.
We learned essential vocabulary to pitch in, generous, less fortunate, needy, homeless, and donate.
We studied powerful phrases to make ends meet, to make a difference, to fall on hard times, to bolster spirits, and hardly.
We shared our personal volunteer experiences and discussed how volunteering changes both the helper and the helped.
And we reflected on the deeper meaning of helping others for individuals, communities, and society.
But learning English isn't just about memorizing words and phrases. It's about understanding the values and culture behind the language.
Exactly. And today's lesson taught us about compassion, community, and the power of small acts of kindness. These are universal values that transcend language.
So here's our call to action for you, our listeners. This week, do one kind thing for someone else. It doesn't have to be big. It could be as simple as holding the door, giving a compliment, or helping a neighbor.
And if you're feeling inspired to volunteer, research opportunities in your community. Find something that aligns with your interests and skills.
We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below this video and tell us, what kind act did you do this week? Or what volunteer work inspires you?
And remember, every comment helps us understand what content you want to see more of. Your feedback shapes the English playbook.
Before we go, let's practice all the vocabulary one more time. Sarah, can you give us a sentence using to pitch in?
Sure. Everyone pitched in to make the fundraiser a success.
Perfect. Now generous.
She's generous with her time and always willing to help.
Less fortunate.
We're collecting winter coats for the less fortunate in our city.
To make ends meet.
With rising costs, many families are struggling to make ends meet.
To make a difference.
Teaching allows me to make a difference in young people's lives.
To fall on hard times.
After losing his job, he fell on hard times, but eventually recovered.
To bolster spirits.
The encouraging news really bolstered our spirits.
Excellent. Everyone listening, try creating your own sentences using these words and phrases. Write them down, say them out loud, use them in conversation.
That's how you internalize new vocabulary, through active practice and repetition.
All right, Sarah, I think it's time to wrap up. What final thoughts do you have for our listeners?
Just this. Learning English is a journey, and we're honored to be part of yours. Keep practicing, stay curious, and remember that language is a tool for connection and understanding.
And don't forget, you can make a difference in your English learning and in the world around you. Every effort counts.
Thank you so much for spending these 100 minutes with us. We appreciate every single one of you.
If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button, subscribe to the English Playbook, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an episode.
Share this episode with someone who's learning English or someone who might be inspired to volunteer.
And check out our other episodes for more English learning content.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep making a difference.
This is David
And Sarah, signing off from the English Playbook.